I think it's also that hard pill to swallow, because you realize that you are your problem.
Yeah.
Always. No matter what, like, the world is always happening around you. The world is never going to stop.
Yeah.
But how you choose to respond to it will create the world. I wish I knew how to become a high quality person for myself.
And what is that?
Someone who has standards high. And everyone always says, oh, raise your standards, raise your standards. But what does that actually mean? Being self-aware and noticing myself in each moment and how I'm responding and reacting, and how my external world is responding and reacting back to me.
Yeah.
How everything is mirroring back to me,
It
I
is
believe.
it's honestly, it is an antidote
Yes.
to judgment
Yes.
and misunderstanding.
Yes.
Like,
To a lot of things, my body and the feeling in my body was creating this reaction through me that was unconscious.
yeah.
And until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our lives, right?
All right, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Chris,
And I'm Shanni.
and today we are actually recording a podcast on Shanni's 37th birthday. I woke up this morning and it's Sunday. It's Shanni's birthday. And being true entrepreneurs, she stepped up to the plate and I said, would you record a podcast with me today? I'd love to just interview you. And of course she said yes.
Yeah.
So we're doing this before we head off for some celebrations. I want to really just dive in and take the time to interview you today because it's your special day. You wrote a post yesterday on Instagram, and I think that there's a lot of goodness in there that we can sort of extend on beyond a piece of short form content.
Yeah.
So that's where my thought process went in the car last night. I'm like, oh, I'd love to just talk about that. So you mentioned last night on this post, 37 years old.
Yep.
And there's only one thing that you wish that you knew
Yeah.
13 years ago. Only one
15
thing.
years ago, I
15.
said, yeah.
Only one thing. Which to me, I'm like, that's so cool because it means that, you know, you're someone who doesn't have any regrets. But there's just this one little thing that you wish you knew, and I really want to dive into that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to take the words out of your mouth. What did you wish that you knew 15 years ago today on your 37th birthday?
I wish I knew how to become a high quality person for myself.
And what is that?
Someone who has standards high. And everyone always says, oh, raise your standards, raise your standards. But what does that actually mean? To me, it means that you choose the best for your life and you're constantly in evolution of becoming better. Because the best for myself 15 years ago is nowhere near the best for me now. But always striving to have more and be more. And we're in a world where, you know, some people go, oh, aren't you just happy with what you've got? You know, and that narrative of being okay to just be, which I do agree with to one part. You know, being in gratitude of your life is very important, but I think within yourself and your personality and how you choose to eat, live, sleep, relate, all the things, I only ever accept the best.
Yeah.
And more.
Yeah.
For that. I only ever accept the best, and I'm always like, well, how could it be better? What could I learn to make myself better? How could I eat better to have better health? How could I sleep better to have a better nervous system, health, hormones, all the things? So to me, being a high quality person and being in evolution of becoming a more high quality person is a whole life experience. But it's for me. And as a byproduct of that, everything around me gets better. You get better. I wholeheartedly believe that who I was 15 years ago would not have attracted who you are today.
Absolutely.
But the work that I have done, particularly in the 3 years leading up to meeting you, it led me to becoming the woman to attract the man that you had also become and were becoming.
I was thinking about this and I was like, you know, I don't have many wishes in life because I feel like I'm also naturally just a person that just goes after what I want.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, well, I wish I would have met you sooner because life is so great. But then I also sit with that and I'm like, maybe that wasn't the right thing to wish for because it may have not have worked the way it works now
Yeah.
by virtue of what you said before. Like
Yeah.
you have to become a certain type of person in order to attract a certain type of person and
Yes.
and really meet each other on that level. Otherwise, there's going to be this disconnect in values,
Yes.
in maturity levels,
Yes.
in the way that you think.
Yes.
What do you think the difference is? Because there's two types of people when I see in this situation. There's the person who just like truly respects themselves, plays at a high standard, doesn't accept less than what they deserve, but in a very grounded, non-wounded way. Then there's people that go on the journey at the start and they're very like loud and proud and like, I deserve better. Like,
Yeah.
If you're not playing at this level, then you don't get me. You know that
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see that type of person out there
ego.
too. An ego thing. It's like
Yeah.
they're two very different people, but they're trying to say the same thing.
Yes.
What do you think the difference is between those two people?
To me, I've been both, to be honest. I just had this like funny memory of when I was dating a guy. I think I was like, I don't know, 22 or something. I was young. And he like ghosted me, but then was like tagging with other women on social media. And I like fully went like, you don't do this to me. I don't accept this. And like, this real like,
Loud and proud.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I was so hurt. And instead of just saying, wow, you hurt me. To me, that's the difference between like a real high quality person and a person who's just trying to, be better than everyone.
Yeah.
It's like me now, if that had happened, I would have been like, wow, you really hurt me. Like that behavior is just really not okay for me to experience. And it saddens me that you would do that to yourself and lower yourself to act that way. Whereas me, back then when I was 22, I was like, I'm fucking better than you. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And like, who do you think you are doing that to me?
If you can't accept me at my worst, you don't get me at my best. Yeah.
I do love that saying, but like
It's so true.
it is, it's a very true saying, but yeah, it's the energy behind it that, it's either a wound where you put a wall in front of yourself and act like it didn't hurt you and you just pretend like you're this like hierarchy, or you actually just allow it to penetrate who you are, but it doesn't change who you are. You allow yourself to be hurt by it, but you own it and you speak it.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a valuable thing for all people to try and do, is to go, wow, that hurt.
I think what really stands out to me in that is there's a level of maturity and understanding that you can, even if in that situation someone had hurt you, you can actually admit and be vulnerable in the sense that like, you hurt me, but you don't have to project and you don't have to play tit for tat and you don't have to get revenge and you don't have to go one better.
Yes.
You can just see it for what it is, acknowledge how you feel, and then move on from it.
Yes.
Rather than hold on to it.
And I think it helps you to move on quicker too.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think the biggest thing has been? Because you mentioned that like you've gone from this to that, and we all do.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think the biggest things have been that have led to you being able to get to this place in life now where you feel like you're playing at a level that just feels really solid, really grounded, and from a place of maturity and self-awareness.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest things have been?
Being self-aware and noticing myself in each moment and how I'm responding and reacting and how my external world is responding and reacting back to me.
Yeah.
How everything is mirroring back to me. I'm very self-aware. Even in my moments, we're all human. We have our moments, and I had my version of a blow up with the kids the other day, which is not really that bad, but to me, it hurts, when you go through stuff. And I'm instantly reflective. And I've always been like that. I just haven't always been. I've gone through my stages of being too proud to admit it.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, I just own it.
Yeah.
And I think that self-awareness for me I think that's the greatest gift that anybody can give themselves is self-awareness, where you can go, and also just that self-acceptance of I'm human. It's okay if I have a reactive moment, but I own it.
Yeah.
My nervous system has calmed down now. I can look at the situation for what it was, and I'm coming to you and going, wow, I did not mean to act that way.
Yeah.
Or I understand now that this created this and it made me feel this, and then I responded that way, but I'm owning it now. Having that ability and that self-awareness is so amazing. I think it's also it's kind of like also that hard pill to swallow, because you realize that you are your problem.
Yeah.
Always. No matter what, the world is always happening around you. The world is never going to stop.
Yeah.
But how you choose to respond to it will create the world.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds a bit weird to say, but it's so true.
No, 100%.
It's like, women who run around going, oh, there's no, available, beautiful, divine, conscious men in the world. And all the men are the same, and they're all shit, and they're all players, and they're all whatever. Generalizing. Then, you're creating your external world through your words.
Yeah.
Your words are your spells.
Yeah.
And so if you have that narrative, and that was me in the past a long time ago, that's all I saw.
Of course.
Because that's what in science, reticular activating system, part of your brain, will take notice of, because everything is happening.
It's also confirmation bias.
Right?
If I can confirm that to be true, then I'm right and I'm safe.
Yes, and it does. It keeps you safe.
Yeah.
It's how your biology works for you, and it's always working for you, but your narrative controls what works for you.
Yeah.
And so having self-awareness of what your narrative is and actually taking control of that. And so flipping the script. There are beautiful divine conscious men everywhere. They're beautiful. I love them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, confirmation bias, your reticular activating system of your brain, it all starts to work towards that narrative. And so I think that for me is the greatest gift, that self-awareness, understanding what narratives are playing out for me, and just flipping the script when it's not something that I want, or it's not serving myself or my family or the business a greater purpose.
So much in that.
Yeah.
I think self-awareness is the most important thing that you can continually work on in your life.
High quality value always.
It is really about seeing yourself outside of yourself in those moments, and seeing when those patterns of behavior are starting to creep back in, and being like, there it is.
Yes.
And being able to just regulate enough to go, no, I'm not going to just fall back into this. I'm going to respond in a different way. And it's just it's a millisecond of awareness sometimes, isn't it? It's like, there it is again. Like, there's that old part of me. But, as we're talking about the brain, it's like, I think about becoming a high value person and creating these habits of self-awareness too. It's like, it's neuroplasticity as well. It's like every time you become aware and you're like, oh, it's like a fork in the road inside of your brain. Like, it's firing and wiring one way, which is the old way, and this is the new way. And you've got to interrupt it.
Yes.
And you've got to take the new path consistently until that becomes the new normal. But the problem is, though, I think that there's such a lack of self-awareness amongst people.
Yeah.
They don't even know why they're behaving the way they're behaving.
Yeah, it's just reactive instead of it's like if you look at phones, we all have a phone. We all have access to everyone all the time.
Yeah.
Now through a brick in our hand, and you can have that brick and then be pissed off about having a bad night's sleep, and then your boss could message you, and you have a choice in that moment to be snappy turtle or to just take a minute, breathe. And then obviously just respond accordingly to what, or maybe your family, whoever it is, your kids. Gosh, prime example is me. If I wake up early and I'm really tired, and then all of a sudden I hear the kids stomping around the house, and I'm like, oh God, preparing myself for the chaos of the morning. And it's those moments where you have a choice, where you have that self-awareness, and you go, I'm not feeling great. I just need to take a minute and really put effort
Yeah.
towards responding instead of reacting.
Well, in that situation, if you zoom out and you remove the I'm tired,
Yes.
they're running around and being disrespectful, blah, 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 and you actually see it detached,
Yes.
in that case, they're just being kids.
Yes.
And it's so crazy what we can go down the rabbit hole in on what we choose to
Yes.
believe about that situation at that time. It's like,
Yes.
they're just being kids. They're like walking, talking, unconscious minds, just like in the moment doing their thing.
Like, I'm awake. I want to be with my dad.
Yeah,
Run.
yeah. and it's like that for any situation too. It really is. It's like when you're in that and you're not regulated and you're diving into narrative, it's like you can completely misconstrue what is being said to you at the time.
100%.
You can take it for like something that it is completely not.
Yeah.
And I think that probably leads to a huge amount of, what's the word? Miscommunications
100%.
and misunderstandings
Yeah.
between all types of relationships as well.
Yes.
And you talk all the time about communication being one of the most important things in life, you know, being able to communicate clearly, effectively from a safe, grounded place.
Yeah.
I want to dig into this a little bit now, like, because I can bet my bottom dollar at 37 years old, 15-year-old, 21-year-old Shanni and the years following before, I'm not going to assume that you've always been this way.
Oh, fuck no.
No. So for those who are listening, because I guess at the end of the day, like I want to reflect on the post that you made. I want to reflect on the key points, but I also want people to take whoever's listening some key pointers away here. So we're talking about self-awareness, being able to elevate you to this place in life where you understand who you are and what you want, and you can come at it from a grounded place. The next thing is communication.
Yeah.
Because we're always in communication with ourselves
Absolutely.
and with other people all the time.
And the universe, God, source, whatever you believe, is always,
So, knowing that, I would say a good 85% of the time, which is a fucking high number, you're a great communicator.
Oh, yay.
So,
Thank you.
so bar the 15% for when you're unwell or you're triggered or life's happening or you're stressed.
Yeah.
In order to get to that, what would you say the biggest thing has been to improving your communication and therefore being able to improve your relationships as a whole with people?
Being curious. So
Tell me, Yoda.
yeah,
Wah.
curiosity did not kill the cat. And I hate that saying because it has become a limiting belief that people have, I have noticed, not all people, I'm generalizing, a lot of people though, have decided that curiosity is a bad thing because curiosity killed the cat.
It's like, don't get too curious.
Don't get too curious. Like, you know, keep yourself safe. No, be curious because curiosity is more safe than the latter, I believe.
It's honestly, it is an antidote
Yes.
to judgment
Yes.
and misunderstanding.
Yes.
Like,
To a lot of things. So like, you know, when I was relationship coaching, one of the greatest things that I found was everything always came back to how do you resolve an argument? Be curious. How do you have deep conversations without getting triggered? Lead with curiosity. And I mean, I'm a Gemini. It's June, and I'm like the communicator of the zodiac. And
never stops.
Never stops. My whole life, I've told you, I've had exes in the past who really shunned me and put me down for asking questions.
Yeah.
And I know that it is hard sometimes because I will come at questions and I'm not always great at articulating. I'm a great communicator, but I'm not always amazing at articulating what I'm trying to say.
But you just say it as it is.
I do say it as
On
it is
that
a
though,
lot.
too, the only reason that has been hard for me in the beginning stages of our relationship was I was so used to all of my life being interrogated.
Yes.
And I'm a very private person.
Yes.
And I internalize my world a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm a very inward human.
Yeah.
So like, that was the only reason that was hard for me because of my past experiences. It's like, what are you digging for?
Yeah.
Like, what are you looking for? Like,
just
why are you
getting to
asking
know
so
you.
many questions? But then this is the miscommunication. I'm sitting here going, the fuck is she digging for here?
Yeah.
Like, what's she looking for? Yeah. Again, go back to what you're saying, but I just wanted to add that, like that's the only reason that I found it hard because of my past.
Yeah.
And my triggers and wounds.
And I think too, people who are navigating something or aren't, I don't know what the word is, people who are on a journey and then you start asking them questions and they're then thinking about themselves and
Of
going like,
course.
oh, fuck. And they're getting triggered because they're, I think people like me invite people to reflect. And I think that's the beautiful part of a Gemini is, we are the communicators and we do invite people to reflect through our own curiosity.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that because, I think there are so many curious questioning people out there, and it's not always interrogation. Even the ones that are interrogating are doing it from a place from maybe wounding or trying to make themselves feel safe.
Yeah.
So it's challenging.
But
Depending.
also too, like people like yourself, like you're just on the counter to that, instead of just assuming, like asking questions to actually understand it more
yeah.
makes sense. It's like, well, I'm not going to tell myself the narrative and just believe that to be true.
I want to know your narrative.
100%.
That's my thing is like, I can make up all the scenarios and stories in my head. I've done that a lot of my life.
Yeah.
A lot of my life.
Yeah.
And I have also dealt with a certain parent who has also done that to me a lot of my life. And so I really want to listen to people. I want to get to know exactly what it is for them because I don't want to decide what it is for them.
Yeah.
I love giving advice. That's why I've always loved coaching. I
Yeah.
love helping people, but I want to know the truth of the story from them first before I go and just dump all of my thoughts and opinions on them. Because it would heavily change that. So yeah, I think circling back to that whole thing, it's curiosity. I think if anything in life, even down to, your children, if they're going through something and parents, you'll understand 1 week you'll have the best week, easy, cruisy, everyone's happy. And then the next week it's like crying every 2 seconds. Everyone's screaming at each other. It's full on. And it's like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this has been such a journey for me in parenting. It's been such a huge lesson. And I'm so grateful for it actually, because I thought I was already very curious and very aware and very onto it. But children just take that to like a whole new depth and a whole new layer. But even that, it's like that is probably the most challenging time. But even then, be so curious. Like, why are they dysregulated? Why are
What's
they
going on for
fighting?
them?
What is happening? Especially if you're co-parenting, you've got two different households going back and
Yeah.
forth. You'll never really know.
No.
But approaching it from curiosity, if you've got a team member or a boss who's, feels like they're at you, instead of going, oh, they're just at me all the time, go, I wonder why
Yeah.
I'm feeling like they're at me. I wonder what's happening for them.
Yeah.
And relationship, first and foremost, like, holy moly, like if your partner is just being a shithead, like instead of calling them a shithead, which I'm sorry, I called you a shit the other day.
Did not go down well.
Pre-period, hungry as fuck. Like, you're being a shit. Anyway, but instead of just calling them a shit, be like, why? Like, be curious as to why, and even just ask. Like, even without saying like, oh, you're being a shithead, just go, I'm noticing that you're not good right now. Are you okay? What's happening for you? And it's like, sometimes you do have to swallow your stuff because, if someone feels like they're at you, you want to be like, fuck off,
Yeah.
But be curious and do that with yourself. Why am I being a shit? Why am I triggered? Why am I pushing back? What about what they just said to me, did to me, X, Y, Z, is making me feel this? And come from the curiosity and speak to that instead of speaking to the trigger or the upset or the whatever.
As you mentioned, kids, something else came to me. Of course, being curious as to what's going on for them when they're up and down. But secondly, something that I think is so important is like in order to create curious adults, we have to foster it in them as children. And if we let them be curious in a lot of different ways, then the chances of them being curious when it comes to interpersonal relationships will increase.
Yeah.
Prime example, most mornings when I drop the kids to school, Ava is like, Dad, can I jump on ChatGPT? I want to find out what the most dangerous animal is. I want to find out where the best countries in the world are. I want to, and in my head, I'm like, I really don't want you like touching my
On the
phone and
yeah.
doing ChatGPT. But then every time I say no, I'm blunting her curiosity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, she's grabbing the phone. At least she wants to learn something.
Yeah.
And she's following pieces of curiosity. And she's like, oh, and then she's telling me, did you notice mosquitoes, Dad? Like,
Yeah.
and she's learning. And I just, in those moments, I'm very conscious of like, every time you say no to those little moments, you're shutting that down.
Yeah.
You're shutting that down. So I think it's so important when you're aware of it, of course, like to let them, to whatever degree is safe, explore that as much as possible. Because every time I do that, I'm like, I'd rather you not be like doing that
on the screen.
But
it's
I'm also
so hard because we grew up with books.
I know it's different. It's just different
a
now.
Different world, yeah.
It's different now, you know. Like, and look, as long as she's learning and as long as she's actually following her curiosity, I'm like, I know that curiosity will lead her to her own natural interests.
Yes.
Which will let her take her path in life.
Yeah.
And secondly, too, the more I encourage and allow a expression of curiosity to be okay, then she's going to build a value of being curious.
Yes.
And if we think about getting later in life, I'm like, well, that's going to be great because if she's learnt to be curious through neuroplasticity through her life, then in the moments where maybe she's in a disagreement with a future partner or something, she'll be able to use my favorite line, which has always helped me move away from judgment and just thinking I know what's going on to curiosity and openness is, I wonder. I love that line. Yeah. As soon as I say to myself, I wonder what's going on for them.
Yes.
I wonder what's happening on that side of home. I wonder what's been going on throughout their day. Yes. Instantly, your mind just explodes with could be this, could be this, could be that. And you get access to all of these thoughts that you wouldn't have if you were just in ego.
Yes.
And you're like, well, they're just being
tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just narrows.
There is not a single person, unless they're a psychopath, I guess, but there's not a single person who's out there literally like, I'm going to make this person's life
exactly.
They're not doing that. And even if they are, it's a wound.
Yeah.
And so if you can approach it of like, oh, gee, I wonder what the wound is for them right now, you're also inviting them to heal through you. And I think that there is so much power in that. And that creates a really high value person is when you go, if you're just out there being vindictive, you know, challenging everyone, coming from wounding, you're lowering yourself on the scale and you're just going to attract more of that. That's what you will attract because then the people who want to be vindictive and have a go are going to have a go back at you. Whereas if you take the higher ground and go, I wonder, and be curious, and they either heal through you or they go, ugh, and they walk away and they move out of your orbit. And then you attract the ones who are going to go, oh, I wonder about you. Oh, I'm curious about you.
Can lead to a lot of breakthroughs, hey? I remember you and I think it might be worth like briefly just sharing into one. You and I had a breakthrough recently for yourself when recently I stepped into a lot of curiosity about a response that you were giving me. And sometimes, a lot of the times, I'm very playful.
Yeah.
Like I'm playful and I joke and I'm like, and I do all these things, right? It's a huge part of my personality.
Yes.
And we had a couple of moments where I was like, just taking the piss and like, you know, Shanni and I normally have a laugh about a lot of things, but there was a couple of things that I was just lightheartedly doing, but you were very much perceiving as me almost trying to like gaslight you.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, because Chris would do something funny and I'd be like, what are you doing? And then he'd be like, I'm not doing anything. And so, and then like, but then it would continue on where I would be like, you just did this thing. And then he'd be like, no, I didn't. And so that was like then making me feel like, because my abusive relationship, there was like the gaslighting was heavy.
Yeah.
With like cheating and all different things. And it really messed with me.
Yeah, of course.
Messed with me so much. Like that's a bigger conversation. But so then I realized beautifully through you.
Well, it started in the car where I just was like, hey, babe, like I've just noticed, and this was my language, like I've just noticed that like when I'm playful and I'm like having a bit of a joke, like you get very attached to like needing to know the truth. And in that moment,
Yes.
I'm like, there's no real truth in it for me. I'm just like having a
Being
laugh
silly.
with you, being silly. And I just said, I was like, does this bring up something for you, like in any way,
Yeah.
shape or form? Because like from my perspective, I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
But if it is, and then we really got to
Well, it made me
that.
sit back and go, whoa. Like, because I hadn't thought about it. I just had the trigger and then I moved on with
Yeah,
my life. 'Cause
yeah.
I'm also very much like that. I'm like, I don't hold stuff for very long.
Yeah.
But that, it allowed me to inquire within myself. It made me think. I was like, oh, what is this? And then I reflected and I was like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's bringing up that feeling in my body of when I was constantly gaslit in my past relationship. So then we got to work through it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, there was like
I had a big cry
there was a
in the
lot of
car.
emotion there for you, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was around certain like structures in the business too, and you were seeking to understand what was going on with the changes that we're making. And
That's right, yeah. You always do, which was like the most fascinating part. Like
yeah, always, as I find things out.
intellectually, I knew
Yeah.
what you were saying, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew that I know that you do that, but my body and the feeling in my body was creating this reaction through me that was unconscious.
Yeah,
And until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our lives, right? So it's like
100%.
in
Carl
that
Jung.
Carl Jung, and you got to you helped me make that conscious in that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
communication, curiosity.
Huge. Yeah. I think like if I was to do like a hierarchy, like pyramid of life, the top is like your nervous system.
Yeah,
The very peak of that is like your nervous system. Everything, in my opinion, evolves from that.
100%.
And then it's communication.
Yeah,
For me, being a high value communicator.
and then self-awareness.
And then
in
like,
there too.
yeah, and then it just cascades from there. But those are like my top tier life values.
So if we had to like encapsulate that post that you did, and you know, if you're hearing this and it's recently released, go and check out the post that Shanni made. But to encapsulate that whole, you know, here's what I wish I knew 15 years ago, you would say that it's that blend of increased self-awareness, nervous system regulation,
Yes.
to know how to communicate better and
Yeah.
respond better
Yes.
and relate better,
Yes.
and then ultimately having more curiosity in life too.
Yes.
Yeah, and less judgment.
Curiosity is huge.
Yeah.
Like communication, like everything, it encapsulates everything. You know, I even have moments where maybe the dogs have had a fight and I'm there patching up wounds and I'm like, I could get pissed off. I could crack it. And I have in the past.
It is pretty annoying.
It's so annoying. That doesn't happen much these days, but when it did, it was very annoying. But then I go, I'm curious. I'm like, well, what set that off? How can I learn so I can avoid that kind of trigger? Because Hug is a special needs dog. You know, she's a reactive special needs dog. And so I go, well, what was it? Like there was one fight a couple of years ago where it was like cracking eggshells and the sound of the cracking eggshells was setting off her anxiety and then she had a fight with Winnie. And so now we're just very cautious and we don't make that noise anymore. And so it's like being curious allowed me to look outside the box and know what it was.
Yeah.
So it's like everything in life, like just be curious.
Love that.
Yeah.
Let's put a bow on this.
Yeah.
What do you want the next year of your life to look like?
I'm going to make a post about that.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought about it yesterday. I was like, I'm going to do my lesson at 36 and my calling in for 37. So
What do you want the next 12 months to look like? So when we're sitting down and we're doing another one
at 38.
a year from now, we should make a ritual of this.
Yeah,
it's
I
good
like
to
it.
unpack.
It's cool. Yeah.
But what do you want?
like a time
What do you want
capsule.
life to look like?
I have found myself as a 37-year-old woman at a new level of self-love. I've always prided myself on self-love, and I've based a lot of my work on it. It was the first personal development I ever did when I was 20 through Louise Hay, and I'm at a new level of that. New level, same devil. And I think that this is one of my life things. You know how you have your life things. It's just always there and there's a new level at different stages of life. I've found myself yeah, as I'm aging and noticing my body aging, because that's a whole thing when you get to this stage, learning to love the changes and learning to accept the stage of life and, you know, how hormones change and all that sort of stuff. So I, in 12 months' time, would like to have just really embraced that and just allowed myself to soften into what that looks like for me. I would like to have a baby either in my arms or my belly. That would be amazing. And I would really like, we've been in an era of slowing down. I don't want the business to slow down. I love the pace of the business. I love what we do and I love our growth. I want Infinity to just like go supernova, you know, like I get really excited about the global aspect of the things that we're working on. So Infinity gets to just continue the way that it is and exceed more. But in our personal lives, I've really enjoyed presence. It's maybe not even slowing down, it's presence. Because life is very fast and I am noticing that too. And that kind of comes into wrapping in the bow of aging. Life moves so fast. Like the last 3 years, I've blinked. And, you know, I was sitting at my birthday dinner last night with my best friend who I've now been best friends with for 20 years this year. I met her when I was 17. And I'm just like, where did that time go? And I drank a lot of it up the wall. I drugged a lot of it up the wall. I would like to see the next 12 months and forever forward just being really in life. Not just existing in it, like living in it to the most capacity that I possibly can. So yeah, I would like to, by 38, have really just embraced this stage of life wholeheartedly. No meltdowns. I had a little meltdown. Was it yesterday or the other day? Just noticing the changes in my body and learning how to work with that. I would really just like to land in that and, yeah, extend our family and be present really in life.
Love
Then
it.
obviously there's materialistic stuff that goes along with that, but they're the important
The cool things.
Yeah.
I love it. So much goodness in that.
Mm.
A lot of wisdom. Thank you for sitting down with me on your birthday
Thank you for interviewing me. That was fun.
and being open to it. I think, there's a lot to reflect on, and I think that those reflections expressed rather than just kept inside of your mind are really, really amazing for other people to hear and to help them too, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that are at different stages of their journey. Maybe they're a bit younger. Maybe they're going through that stage in life where they're wanting more, they're wanting higher standards for themselves, but maybe they're still navigating through the wounds and it's coming out in certain ways and they want to move to a more mature way. Like, who knows who's listening?
Yeah.
I think this is such a gift to be able to just speak and share and have it projected out to so many different people. So I know that someone somewhere is going to hear something in this that is going to really help them. So thank you and happy birthday. Very grateful that you're alive, and not even that you're alive, but you're in my life. Definitely made my life a whole lot better since you've been in it. So thank you. Love you.
Love you.
If you liked this podcast, share some love. Flick Shanni a message on Instagram. She's always happy to have a chat.
I am.
Typical Gemini. Like, share it, subscribe. You know what to do. We're signing out. Peace.
Yay.